In today's video, I'm gonna explain about fixing high pressure fuel pump in a different manner, which was suggested by one of our YouTube viewer. So here it starts. These are the tools that I have used. This is 1x4 wrench. Then you need a long extension. Then N53 Torx bit. Then comes the seals. You have to get these oil seal and 3 of these X-rings. Size will be mentioned in the description. If you have seen my old video, the size is over there also. Then you need a syringe of 70 ml for doing vacuum section in the diaphragm side. And the end should be taped with thread tape, or you must have a rubber hose that fits to it at the end so that the vacuum will be proper. You can see that in the continuing video, and in the pulling part you have to make a hole to lock it with Allen key so that the suction stays in place until we finish the job. You can see here, this is a rubber hose that I have used to make the suction stay there. And this one is 13mm bolt with a lock nut just to turn the pendulum. And the oil that I have used this time is 0W20, which one is having less viscosity, and it will be easy for the air to pass away. So just note it down. We are using only like 300 ml of oil altogether. And this one is measuring scale that I have used. I was not having vernier caliper, so the first marking is 19mm and the second marking is 24mm. So if your high pressure fuel pump measures 19mm, you don't have to do this fix. If it measures more than 19mm, like if it measures 22 or 24mm, then you have to take the high pressure fuel pump out and do this fix. I'm talking about the diaphragm side, and I'll be demonstrating that in the video itself. So this is just for our ease. We don't have to buy a caliper. And the special tools that I have used is this one, which was made by my dad. You have to get the spring compressor out to get the exact measurement for making this special tool. Just to understand how the tool will be, you don't have to have an open wrench. You just have to have what do you call it, a metal strip which is hard enough. Just make 4 holes according to the size, and you can just hammer a bolt in there which fits. And this is ball player or a reverse player. You can get it from the tool shop. And next thing is a bench vise, which is a must tool. Without this tool, you cannot proceed the job. So you have to have these basic tools to start your work. So let's start with the T20 Torx bit. Just unfasten all the 3 bolts. So mark the first bolt that I have, the bolt part, the top part and bottom, so that you know which hole goes to which side. And when you take it out, you can see the oil spilling out. You might have gasoline leaking out when you take this. That means your compressor springs o-ring has gone out. In my case, it was low pressure, so it did not start leaking the gasoline to the oil compartment. And when you take the parts out, the caps of the piston might get sticked to the pendulum part, so be careful. You have to keep it safe. You see here, one of the caps got sticked to the pendulum part. Just note it down. It has to be that clean, and this one is a pendulum part. So you have to clean the whole unit. Take the piston out and keep it in clean bag. This is the spring. So it comes with 3 parts: the piston head, the spring, and the cap. Now you have to remove this using special tool. I tried with what do you call this, the grinder special tool, but this one is not working because it is not hard enough, and the leads are lengthy, so it gets slit whenever I try to loosen it. I'm just showing that I tried with the hand and hammering, but it's not that hard, and the leads are just getting slipped from its slot. So that's the reason we had to make the special tool. So I'm using the special tool in here. 4 of the leads were there, but in my previous fix I got lost 2. So, but 2 is enough. You just have to hammer it properly so that it just fits to the bottom, and hammer it in counterclockwise direction, which is regular thread modes. So for loosening it, just hit in counterclockwise direction, and you can take the part out. The spring compressor comes just below this. This is to keep the spring compressors in position. So this is the part that we have to take out. Now using the ball player, and you can use either plastic cover or cloth to insert in, so that it doesn't tamper when you take the springs out. And when you pull it vertically so that you don't damage the springs. Sometimes the springs might be leaking. In that case, you have to replace the spring with something you get from bad unit or junkyard unit. So you see that spring, which is for the fuel pressure springs. So we took all 3 out. And this is the diaphragm part, and the oil is pressurized using this particular hole and diaphragm. So the diaphragm will be pushing the oil in to give the pressure. And this is the shaft for the pendulum part for rotating the pistons. So you have to take the shaft out from this pendulum so that you can change the oil seal. For this, hook it and hit with a flathead screwdriver in counterclockwise direction. Just one hit is enough to loosen it, and you can take it out with your fingers itself. So it got loosened. Now take it out and use a finger to take the shaft out. It's as easy, and you can see the oil seal, which has been pushed a little bit out already due to the pressure inside the oil. In course of time, this gets faulty. So I used a flathead to remove the oil seal. Meanwhile, you have to hold the lower part, the pendulum part, with another finger so that it doesn't fall down. You don't want to damage any part because you won't get these parts from the market. You have to get it from the junkyard itself. So the oil seal must be replaced whenever you do this fix. This one is the old oil seal. You can take the measurement from this one. Either it's too hard due to the heat and the pressure inside, the heat and the time it worked in. So these are the new seals and X-rings. This one is the oil seal. So we're gonna replace, I can see the old one and new one difference in the center. The new one is much more tight. The measurement is almost the same, but the center part will be less measuring. The diameter will be less so that it stays there properly without leaking oil. So we're gonna change the O-ring with the X-ring in the fuel compressor springs. Just lubricate the X-ring and put it in position and align it properly. The X-ring must be in tight fit so that there won't be any leaks. If it is not tight fit, the X-ring might get damaged when you insert it to the valve body. So you have to repeat the process for all three, as you know. I'm just fast forwarding to reduce the length of the video. So see there, you have to make sure it aligns properly. And this is about where we hook up the bench vise. If you keep somewhere else, it might damage the high pressure fuel pump. So I'm just lubricating the X-ring before we insert it to the valves. The bores must be oiled before you insert, and you can see the spring which holds the fuel compressor springs is hard, and Just put the springs first, put it in position with the flat head, and there are slots to stay properly in place, so you can see that. And you just have to insert it. When you insert the fuel pressure springs, you can fill oil inside before you install the what do you call it, spring holders. So fill in oil now. I missed to do that. If you do this, more air will be passing out, so just fill oil before you put this particular part in. Don't forget to do that. I forgot. I just realized after tightening all three. So just to show you how tight it was, the X-rings. So all three fuel compressor springs has been installed, and we're gonna tighten it with a special tool. You have to tighten it to the same tightening torques that we took it out. So I'm just hammering it to tighten completely. Even if I give you the measurement of the special tool, it will be and there will be slight difference. That's the reason I'm not giving the special tool sizes. So first you fill oil in the diaphragm part. This is the diaphragm, and that's a hole which takes the oil from the diaphragm. The air will be the trapped air will be passing out when you fill oil, but you have to work on it several times to get all the trapped air out from this diaphragm. Filling in oil in this manner took around 1 hour. And we are filling oil in all the holes that we see, and we'll be putting in the pistons back in position after filling oil. The spring, the piston with the cap. So I'm gonna install the spring first, then we'll be filling the pistons with oil so that there won't be any air trapped in. I prefer to do this job inserting or immersing the whole unit in oil, as you might have seen in my early videos. It is pretty nasty. That's the reason I decided to try this way. This one is also effective, but we cannot assure that 100% of the trapped air gets out in this manner. In the following session, you can understand why I mean that. See, the air is getting out. You can just push the pistons in so that you can make sure whole air, whatever air got trapped is out. So with a tiny Allen key, I tried pushing the diaphragm down so that I get all the air which has been trapped completely out. So you have to repeat this process several times to make sure there is no more air in it. As the viscosity of oil was less, it was pretty easy for the trapped air to get out. This one is the Allen key that I've used. Don't use any sharp objects, it might damage the diaphragm. I'm just cleaning the pendulum part, which has what they call bearing inside, and I'm not replacing the other seal. There is a small hole on top of the pendulum part which can take oil inside to the compartment, and the 13mm bolts just to hold it in position. And as I mentioned earlier, you have to mark one hole at top and bottom so that you can identify how it aligns together. Otherwise, you have to check by keeping in each slots. So whenever you take the first bolt or screw out, just mark the top part and bottom part so that you know which goes where. And whenever you tighten it evenly so that you don't damage the seal between the upper body and lower body. So tighten it evenly until it is completely in place. There is no more gap in there. I don't know the tightening torque, but you can feel the tightening torque whenever you take the unit out. So tighten it evenly. I'm gonna fill the high pressure fuel pump with oil. The oil will get into the compartment from that small hole on top. You can see the air is getting out and oil is going in. So this one is a time-taking process. As I told you, it will take about an hour. Once the bubble gets stopped, then you have to rotate the unit itself using the 13mm bolt. I have used a hand drill. and repeated this process several times until there was no air coming out. As I told you, this is not my idea. This is from one of the guys from my viewers, so credit goes to them. I'm marking just to make a oil reservoir on top so that I can put the oil seal without any trapped air inside the oil seal. And with a hot glue gun, I'm gonna fix it. I've used a foam bowl which was in my home. So sealing completely so that the oil doesn't spill out. Now I'll be filling oil and inserting the oil seal. Before that, I have to vacuum the diaphragm so that the diaphragm will be pulling more oil to the diaphragm compartment, which will give enough pressure inside the high pressure fuel pump. So I'm just doing a vacuum, and I'll be locking with a Allen key or a small bit through the hole that I have made on this syringe. So you can use a 70 milli syringe or a 100 milli syringe, but don't vacuum it too much. Too much vacuum will make more pressure inside the high pressure fuel pump, and it will get damaged within a short period. So I have inserted the oil seal. Once you insert it, you have to hammer it down so that it goes completely into the groove. I did not show hammering, so with 13 milli or 14 milli bit, you can hammer it down, and this one is for measuring. So I have removed the oil, extra oil in it. Now I'm gonna measure with the stick that I have used. 19 milli is good, and 24 milli you got to do the process again. So until it touches the diaphragm, you see it is 19 milli and 24 milli marking is out. So that means you're good to go, and good to go for this unit. So I'm going back to fix it in my car, and I'm gonna install the shaft in. You just have to thread the shaft using your fingers, and after installing it to the engine, it will be fine. So hopefully this helps. Enjoy.